Hi, Matthew Holt. It's a THCB Quick Bite. I have Steve Yaskin here. He's the CEO of Health Gorilla. You can see the gorilla upside down in the shadow behind him up there. Steve, nice to chat with you. For those people who don't know, real quick, what does Health Gorilla do?
Nice to meet you again, Matt. We've been talking for quite some time now. Health Gorilla today has become one of the leading health information networks in the United States, aggregating data for one of the 6 permitted purposes as mandated by the United States government. Health Gorilla is also in the process of qualifying to become a qualified health information network. Today we operate as a HIN, H-A-N. We are working towards getting that Q in front of our name, hopefully by end of the year, and we are certifying with ONC to become one of the first qualified health information networks to be able to provide more data for more permitted purposes of access.
All right, so let's talk about the current usage of Health Gorilla and what will change when you become a QHIN.
Yes.
Who are the, you're sort of in the background, supplying the businesses.
Pretty much.
Who is using Health Gorilla for what purposes at the moment to get what kind of data?
Today, we operate under one permitted purpose called treatment. So provider organizations, digital health companies who have providers as their end users, some of the payviders, payers that have been operating in care delivery models, we call them payviders, having permitted access to Health Gorilla data today, and this is the market that we serve today. With the QHIN, there's a total of 6 permitted purposes, so government is expanding the access to that data dramatically with 5 additional permitted purposes beyond treatment. As a QHIN candidate, we are mandated to open up and participate in all 6 as the roadmap dictates for us. The first 2, treatment, which is moving to the QHIN platform over time. What does that mean is it's going to be more data, more participants and sub-participants in QHINs. So what Care Equality did for a number of years in Commonwealth will be expanded. There's a common agreement, which is a big part of the TEFCA. There's QTF, which is the technical platform, and there's a lot of work has been done towards TEFCA. It's still voluntarily today, participation, but we believe government is doing a lot in incentives, creating additional incentives for the market, for more organizations to join us today. So treatment is going to be live first, and then IAS is coming shortly. IAS stands for Individual Access Service, kind of a boring name for pretty much consumer access. We have very clear rules of the road, how we're going to deal with patient identity verification with biometrics. Most likely will be IL2 with certain certified technology providing biometrical identity as well as patient matching. And this is where Health Gorilla have been working for a number of years in creating a mechanism and technology to match national streams of data coming into Health Gorilla into a single patient identity on a national scale.
So if you have these different QHINs, and you had Commonwealth and Care Quality, these agglomerations for obviously Epic's involved in this as well.
Yes.
What is the business model for someone using Health Gorilla versus someone else?
Yes. So first of all, QHINs are exchanging data between each other with no monetary exchanges, right? Yeah. So we are free to each other. We exchange full data between each other, and QHIN candidates right now are going through stages of actually testing and verifying with each other that we can exchange data in a prescribed format, which is FHIR-based exchange. It's still document-based exchange, but we have a FHIR roadmap in place, which is being worked on right now. For Health Gorilla QHIN, as we get designated soon, hopefully, the business model remains the same as it is today. We are a B2B company. We are driven by transactions, and we are serving today for treatment purpose. We're processing, millions of transactions already today, hundreds of millions, in fact. And we are expanding markets, actual new markets coming to QHINs where we will be providing that same data access for permitted purposes, but the model for Health Gorilla stays the same. So it's a SaaS-based transaction.
So I understand that now the government says I as an individual can get my data. You're saying most of this is treatment from business to business from providers, there hasn't been that much incentive for providers to get data. We know that data exchange, especially in some areas like imaging, is really sloppy. I know that that's what we're doing. Why do you think, as a for-profit business, you're going to have a big uptake of interest from providers to actually access the data?
Yes.
Why are you going to make some money?
when you look at the market overall, we've been. I think there's no doubt right now that interoperability is one of the biggest problems plaguing the whole industry right now. There's a lot of resistance to interoperability for various commercial reasons and market reasons and many other things. But TEFCA is designed to create additional incentives, and there will be some stakes as well coming to the market. Right? There's already early indications of Medicare participation through the quality programs, where there will be some stakes in the programs to further incentivize markets. But we at Health Gorilla focus on very specific use cases that TEFCA allows us to do, like prior authorization. Both sides want to transact on a prior authorization. There's enormous waste today in the market, both on payers and provider organizations, to solve that. So TEFCA allows us to tackle specific use cases as we go along, implementing national interoperability, starting with very specific cases like prior auth, risk adjustment, and many, many other use cases. And of course, big driver for that will be consumer access. More and more consumers will demand access to data.
So your basic argument is you have these current use cases which are inefficient, and the payers and providers want to make them more efficient. Eventually there'll be other reasons to get access to the data. Yes. You'll make it a turn every time. That's I assume that's what you tell your board anyway. All right, real quick, just to end, state of play of the company. You have a pretty big booth at HIMSS, biggest one you've had so far, I think. How much money has gone in, if you didn't spend it all on the booth? And how much money has gone in? How are you doing growing up? How many people are you? Just give me a sense of the state of play of the company.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 years in. 8 years? How many years?
Close to 8 years right now.
The state of play of the company.
Yes, we really started experiencing tremendous growth in the last 3 years.
Yep.
When TEFCA came around and we pledged early, we were one of the first, in fact, the first company that pledged participation in future QHIN as it rolls out. And we started doubling our revenue every year, consistently growing at 100% for the past almost 3 years now. And
can you give me a number?
We usually don't disclose numbers, but in this economy, growing at 100%, considering everything that's going on, it's not a small feat to accomplish. Okay. We're planning to do that going forward as well. We're looking at very healthy triple-digit growth numbers this year again. And it is accelerating, and QHIN will provide further acceleration on new markets that are coming to us.
So how much money has gone in? And
we are close to 80 million total.
How many people in the company now?
A few hundred people. We're still very nimble and agile organization. We are doubling up on many aspects, primarily on the security part of the organization today.
And the last question, given the state of play in the venture market at the moment, yes. Are you going out for more money, or do you not need it anymore?
I'm going to say that the best time for organizations that are growing the way we do is during recessions. We don't have any immediate plans to announce any further funding, but as the company grows, we are looking at various non-organic growth opportunities. There's a lot of interesting companies here at HIMSS that we are discovering that build beautiful products, but not having access to data that Health Gorilla could provide. So we're looking at very interesting opportunities going forward in our growth path.
All right, I've been speaking with Steve Yaskin. He is the CEO of Health Gorilla, interesting company in the data interoperability space, which is growing fast. Thanks for your time, Steve.
Thank you, Matt.